Okay, I'm going to show you how to mount the front fender license plate here. That's a picture of my dog. That's Max. He's a cool old guy. He's been my best friend for years. So anyway, okay, now there's options when you mount this. It's up to you to how close you want to get it to the front of the fender here. And then the one thing you want to do is make sure you have enough room if you are going to mount it while the fender's on the bike. Make sure you got enough room here for the drill to fit, to drill these holes. And then you can always mount it off the bike. That'd be a little easier actually. So let me show you how to mount this. It's real simple. In your kit you'll have the license plate, the 4 brackets, the drill, and then the hardware and the stickers. So in the hardware I've given you normal nuts and then nylock locking nuts. These are just to assemble temporarily, and then you'll use the nylock nuts for permanent. And then some of these are not black yet. I don't have the black screws yet, but I'll show you how to mount this with the silver. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is put the decal on. Now make sure everything's nice and clean and your hands are really clean before you do this. And then what I've done is I've taped the decal in place with little pieces of masking tape on the corners. Now what I've made it about 5/8 of an inch from the top to the edge of the number on both ends. And then make sure you leave enough room on the corners for the little brackets. There should be plenty of room if you keep this centered, because the little brackets have to mount there. So go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you how we're going to apply this. We're going to use the hinge method. Next, go ahead and put a piece of tape across here and push that down good. And then we're going to do 1/2 at a time. Okay, next go ahead and pull carefully pull the decal apart like that. And you'll see the numbers are on this piece of paper here. Then you've got the backing here. And go ahead and cut that, carefully cut that piece of paper off there. And then what we can do is we can just carefully lay that over. And start from the center and just start pushing that toward the edge. That way you won't get wrinkles in there. Okay, next what I've done is I've cut the edges of these tape off a little bit. Then go ahead and carefully lift this side up. And then what we'll do is we'll peel the backing off this side. And that'll expose the numbers. Then just go ahead and very carefully iron that side down. I'll go for the center out. Now we can peel the paper off and we'll be finished. Okay, now go ahead and push the numbers down really hard. Just iron them down really well. And then after you get that done, you can go ahead and just very carefully peel the top pieces of paper off. And that'll expose your numbers. I peeled this off before, so mine's going to be a little easier. But be careful not to lift the numbers up. You can always go back and press them down a little bit. And there you have it. Okay, now we're going to mark the fender and drill it for the license plate. Now you'll notice there the fender has a flat section here. You don't want that. You want to use the rounded end. So we're going to use the rounded end. What I've done is I've just wrapped masking tape down there. I'll put like 3 layers of 3/4 inch. And then what I've done is I've taken a piece of masking tape and I've just laid it on the fender and I put a couple of little marks there and one mark in about just eyeball the center. Then what I'll do is I'll put a little mark on the fender. And then I'll take that tape off. And I'll just switch it to the other side. And I'll put a mark. Okay, so halfway in between the little marks is the center line. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the fender. I'll do the same thing on this end. And then we'll be ready to lay this license on there and drill it. I've put together the license plate with the little brackets. I've used the square ends out. I think that looks a little nicer. You can use either way. And then I've used the nylock nut on this side. So go ahead and just put that together like that. And what we want to do is we don't want to lock them super tight. We want them just to barely swivel a little bit so that when we lay it on there, you can kind of push them and they'll kind of flatten out on the fender. And then I've actually put a mark there so that I know where to drill. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the fender on the tape and eyeball down on the center line there. And then once I get that about where I want it, then I'm going to go ahead and mark one of the holes. So go ahead and mark the hole. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just drill the one hole only for now. Okay, go ahead and drill that one hole. I'm not going to drill this one, the other bike's drilled, but go ahead and drill the one hole. One thing I do on this, and this is the drill we supply, you don't have to go too fast on the RPMs. If you go a little slower, it'll actually drill a little bit better. So go ahead and pop that hole in there, and then I'll show you how we'll do the rest of them. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually screw the bracket to the motorcycle, and go ahead and snug it up with just the regular nuts that we give you, not the nylock nut. So screw that one down, and then you can go ahead and line this up and drill this one. And then put the screw in that one and drill this one, and then put the screw in this one and drill this one. That way everything comes out really lined up nicely. And it's much better than trying to mark them and drill them, then they'll never line up. So go ahead and do all that, and then we'll install this on the motorcycle when we get her finished up. I'll show you how we do it. And there we have it. Go ahead and fasten it to your fender. Make sure you use the nylock nuts. This is a monster one, but make sure that you don't use a regular nut, but it has to be a nylock nut. And the nuts go on the bottom, screws on the top, screw and a nylock nut on the to hold the plate on also. And there you have it. God, that has a nice English flair to it, doesn't it?